All right, guys, whether you like it or not, Donald J. Trump is now the president of America. We're going to dive into what this means for the snowmobile industry because there could be big changes. We also are going to dive into your questions later in the pod. Let's jump right into it.
Look, I don't want to talk. How you try and press the kid and read you was soft.
All right, guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the Let's Assess podcast. Today, it's me, AJ, and Marcus sitting here. We are going to assess Donald Trump being the new president. This can mean, huge changes for every industry when it comes to the economy, as well as riding zones. We're going to jump into that. But before we jump into that, if you guys are liking our content, please subscribe. It helps us make more videos, and we just enjoy the feedback. Leave a comment what you think about this. And we are also on Spotify, Apple Music, all the podcasts, or the major podcast platforms. So let's jump right into it. Economy.
Yeah, I think the economy obviously is a huge talking point right now. In general, we've struggled in the economy the last couple of years. I mean, you've seen it in your industry. I've kind of seen it in my industry.
Yep.
Powderbound has definitely seen it. Through all the trade shows that we went through this year, people were pretty tight with money. They weren't looking to book trips right away.
Not buying new sleds.
Not buying really new gear. I mean, there's a handful of people that kind of hit us up for aftermarket stuff and handlebars and things, but not like a ton. It didn't seem like a lot of questions and interest that just didn't deliver to sales. So I think, that is one of the big topics right now is, are we going to get tax relief? Are we going to get these things through, the Trump Association?
Yeah.
And get, the economy back and people spending money freely like that.
Yeah.
These are hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. So my 2 cents on it, the economy, this is all opinion, dude. So if you guys don't like our opinion, leave it in the comments, but this is our opinion. Yep. We are stating that. None of this is fact. Yep. It's what we think.
100% our opinion.
Yeah. So the economy, you might be like, well, how is Trump going to affect the snowmobile industry? The economy is probably the biggest one. Like you just stated, all those reasons are completely true.
Yep.
And even more importantly, it is a hobby.
Yeah,
that is an expensive hobby. Yeah. Very expensive. So when people, which in my opinion, according to history, people seem to have more money in their pockets to spend, disposable income, when he was in office than there has been the last couple years. I've talked to a lot of people in business. Their businesses aren't doing as well as they were. People are just more tight, and you've seen that. I've seen it in the snowmobile industry and the auto industry. Yep. And so I think, we were talking before this podcast, there's something to be said about people spending money in the snowmobile industry. In any industry, it's what keeps it around and it's what keeps it going. Yep. So if, we were talking about, let's just say, for example, you sell real estate, right? The person that would have bought that house doesn't have the money right now to buy the house, or they can't make the payment, interest rates are too high, whatever, okay? So there's a big trickle effect of this, and this is a hypothetical example, but that real estate agent who would normally sell that house doesn't sell that house because his buyers can't afford it, okay? So then he doesn't get his commission. So then the first thing he's going to cut back on are the non-essential things such as snowmobiling. Yep. So he doesn't buy a new snowmobile, which hurts the actual OEMs, because if people aren't buying sleds, they have to cut production. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Hurts the dealership.
Yeah.
And then it hurts the manufacturer.
It hurts the dealership. Now the dealership salespeople aren't getting paid as much because they're not selling as much.
Now they're not buying cars.
Right. They're not booking trips. They're not buying gear. Yep. They're not buying oil.
Not clutch kits in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's this huge effect. Like, if you don't have the money, then this industry does not tick.
Correct.
It's not. It's true with every industry, but it's very true with something like snowmobiling.
Yeah, we're not a type A industry. I know you've had that conversation of like what's type A, type B, type C industry, and I would say, yeah, it's just a hobby. Like, it's not even in a industry. Right? It is an industry, I guess. Yeah. But it's very low on that like needed scale.
Especially for most people. Like for me, I would probably go to the end of the earth to have a newer sled just because I love riding.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of people don't.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you kind of see it right now with the snowmobiles. We're seeing 60% at 0% interest and a 2-year warranty when
60 months.
60 months.
60 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Where both me and Marcus went and bought, well, a handful of sleds
Right.
at 8% for, 3 years. What was it? A month and a half, 2 months ago? And it's like, wow, the shift happened that fast.
Yeah.
Just because the buyers aren't buying. Well, why aren't the buyers buying? Because they don't have the money to go buy. So you see the signs of the economy. Now it's going to be interesting, to see if that switches back towards, more of a seller's market.
Yeah, and like speaking of the snowmobile industry, for me, say you cut me a check for $10 million, I'm going to spend a lot of money in the snowmobile industry.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to go on trips. I'm going to buy sled decks. I'm going to buy trailers. I'm going to buy more sleds, more gear, all of that stuff. So the problem is with a lot of people, and like we've talked about, this is a pretty blue collar industry, which luckily the blue collar seems to be hit last.
Yeah.
But it still gets hit.
It still gets hit. And it's the effects are going to happen.
Yeah.
Like the economy is in the dumps right now. So hopefully we'll see that shift change. I think there's other parts, that I'm hopeful for with the administration that we have now is less EPA restrictions. We see it in the diesel trucks. We see it in the construction equipment. We see it in the snowmobiles being 2 strokes.
Yep.
We can't ride 2-stroke snowmobiles in certain areas. You see it in California where they're not even allowing, I don't know the exact rules, so don't hate me in the comments, but there's places generators and certain things aren't allowed in California. And there's a big snowmobile market in California as well, and they're riding 2 strokes. So are they going to be able to continue doing that? I think some of that stuff will be, lax for the next 4 years.
Yeah. And that's, we can touch on the policy. And the thing that is encouraging to me about it is whatever side you're on, I don't really care, to be honest. But what I like is with him getting elected, most of those people stand for things such as riding areas being open.
Yep.
This is off topic, being able to hunt.
Yep.
All that stuff, right? That's where I agree. I think we should have riding zones open.
Yeah.
It's like
it's our land. It's our public land.
Yeah, and it's like I was telling a guy, dude, think about this. He's like, they're trying to shut things down. Yeah. There's stuff all over Facebook.
Actively trying all the time. Yeah.
And there was a rumor, well, it sounded like more than a rumor, up on Rabbit Ears where they were trying to keep snowmobilers out. And this is what is so funny to me. I'm not an environmental expert. We don't even touch the ground 90% of the time.
Yeah.
We are riding on snow.
Yep. Snowmobiling is probably one of the least harmful things to the environment possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all things, think about it, dirt bike, bicycle, horses, any of that, it's truly disturbing the ground.
And at 10,000 feet in January, there's just not that many animals up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like we're out there chasing elk on our snowmobiles and messing up their migration pattern or something. But there again, I just agree with what I'm trying to say is it's encouraging to me that a nominee, that the people that stood for that nominee was the majority when it came to them believing in these certain things that help us as snowmobilers, and not just as snowmobilers, as outdoors people,
Outdoorsmen, yeah.
as side-by-side people, as hunters, as everything like that.
Yeah.
The scary part, though, with that being said, is a lot of that is local type stuff.
Yep.
Right? So Trump might not have that big of an effect on that.
Might be too small on the scale of things for what he's seeing.
Right. So let's dive into this real quick. I know we spoke about this earlier. This is something that he seems to have a direct effect on.
Yep.
Tariffs.
Yeah, and I think Marcus did some research on that, so I'll let you have a hand at that.
I was doing a little research before we did this. 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada. And BRP is a big part in both of them places. So side-by-sides and snowmobiles.
Yeah, a lot of their parts are manufactured in Mexico.
A lot of parts are from Mexico. And then snowmobiles are shipped from Canada to us.
Is Polaris all USA?
I was gonna say, now that you say that, I think Polaris has a lot of parts manufactured in Mexico
There
too.
probably is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure.
they have a lot of like.
But at least the
engine stuff.
final unit is built in the USA.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they probably won't have a huge tariff increase on the like wholesale price for Polaris, but I'll bet we're going to see that increase in the parts, which is just going to be the in total of the snowmobile.
Yeah.
Like the consumer is what's going to get hit.
You're gonna see something
Yeah.
no matter what.
Well, and the thing that I like about from being a Polaris guy is there is a better chance, I feel like, for them to be building everything in America, right? Like in the near future than a company like Ski-Doo who's based out of Canada.
Yeah, you'll never see Ski-Doo being built in America.
Yeah.
They're a French Canadian company.
So that arises the question, 25%?
Yeah.
25. Yep.
So let's just hypothetically say a Ski-Doo is 25% more. Would you guys still buy it? Same product, 25% more.
No, I don't.
You
think
couldn't afford
could.
to.
Yeah, it's $5,000. Like, do you think about that? That's $5,000 probably at least. What sucks is we were talking about this. We never thought sleds would be $20,000, right? But yet here we are paying it. We're gonna say, oh, we would never pay $30,000 for a snowmobile.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, there's gonna be a day where we're paying $30,000 for a snowmobile. Hopefully, it's not next year. But if
It'll be next.
yeah. But if
Yeah.
Ski-Doo has to raise their price, then Polaris, they're going to get together and they're going to be like, hey, you can make another $5,000 because we have to raise the price. So Polaris is going to up their price and they'll compete with each other. That's why we need Articat in this game more than ever, is to be that 100% American-built company. I'm sure they source some parts as well, but they are a pretty USA company as it is.
And Polaris is pretty USA too.
Pretty.
Yeah.
But they also
They're
have,
massive. Yeah.
they're massive and they have that mentality of like, yeah, we're going to jack the price up on this stuff. You know, like you can't tell me a 9R is that much more to build than an 850. You're going to charge that much more?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that being said, I think you could see Polaris and Ski-Doo having that conversation of, hey, you get a pocket $5 extra if you raise your price of your turbo sled up to this and your 850 to this and everything. So we need Articat to be like, hey, no.
But the thing is
CF Moto.
But it's being devil's advocate here. Maybe Polaris says we don't think we can sell enough sleds at $30,000. We're going to stay at 25, or we're going to stay at 23. You can go up to 28.
Yeah.
That's going to be no bueno taco for Ski-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to suck.
Because it's the same thing. Like with Polaris, if it was a $30,000 sled and you could buy a Ski-Doo for 23 or 24, that's kind of a hard pill to swallow, even if you're a diehard Polaris guy. Because let's face it, both of these sleds are really dang good sleds.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're selling 2 used ones to buy 1 new one.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't
Well, dude,
just upgrade both every year.
yeah, we were talking in the truck. So with some of the plans that Polaris is planning on doing that we'll release probably at another date, me and Marcus were talking. We're in the truck driving to get something for AJ, and dude, that sled without tariffs is
It'll be close to that.
27, 25, you think?
I'm guessing a little more than that yet.
She's going to be pricey already.
Yeah.
Then if you put tariff on top of it, whew,
Yeah.
we're at that 30 mark.
Bingo. No.
Bongo.
No.
No, that's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and then talk about just taking the money out of your pocket right away. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
I mean, it might be good that, and this is like kind of some devil's advocate of like, is Trump going to be good, bad? What is it, right? Like time will tell. We'll see. I don't foresee a huge change in our entire like world, the way we're living, honestly. I mean, I just don't see a huge change in it. We all are going to be paying our taxes the normal, or just same old, right? Just like every year. But with that being said, I don't know where I was going with this.
No, I'll tell you something though too. Holy smokes. I'll tell you something too, in my opinion. You got to think a lot of people, it's not that we're not going to have to pay taxes or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. It's not
Because we know we're going to have to. But something like the stock market, when the stock market does good, a lot of people have a lot more money.
Yep. I remember where I was going with this. So much stuff is exported into the U.S. We don't have much industry in the U.S., honestly. So if like these tariffs do like go into place, and it like if it truly does raise the price of a BRP snowmobile $5,000, then like that's taking money out of our pockets. Even if we get this tax, break or whatever, like he plans on putting the money back in our pockets to raise the economy. We're going to be putting the money back into the economy, but we might be putting it into a company that's not even in the U.S.
Right.
Because we're just spending that money right back to BRP.
Right, but think about this. Again, just as an argument. So there's going to be people that say, I'm not buying Ski-Doo now. It's too expensive. In this hypothetical example.
Correct. Yeah, it's very hypothetical.
So now you have Polaris doing better, right?
Yep.
You have more people not being laid off. You have more hires. You have more American jobs.
Yep.
Okay. And then you have them, with taxes and everything in America.
Yep.
Now, the other hand of this is, say Ski-Doo said, or BRP, I guess, said, no, we cannot give up the American market. We cannot have our sleds 25% higher.
Yeah.
We need to build them in America. That's the point of this entire thing.
That's what his goal is.
That's what the result he wants is.
He wants industry to come to America,
Right.
which is great. Like we don't do enough here. Like,
Right.
We truly don't do enough here.
So then you would be building a factory here. You would be, say they built a BRP factory here.
Yep.
We got jobs. Our local economy is doing better.
Yep.
They're providing a lot of tax money for our town. That's the goal. The thing that I wonder about, though, when you're talking about 25% more, is say your sleds are built in China. Let's just use this for an example, and they're $22,000. That's what the manufacturer thinks that they need to price that to make money.
Yep.
How much are they going to be if they're completely built in America? American labor is not as cheap as Mexico or China.
It might be $35,000.
So I mean, that's just like, there's no way of telling. But I don't know.
There's a lot of variables to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
I think that before we get on, I think that's going to be something as the snowmobile industry we got to keep an eye on, though, is like where this tariff thing's going to go, because that's going to be on our accessories. We buy handlebars, we don't, but like there's handlebars that come out of Canada, like
Kyber one, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's Kyber, there's Push Industries exhaust, there's multiple companies in Canada that like a lot of American people buy from.
Yeah.
And like you're gonna see that increase through everything. So yeah, I think it's a lot bigger than just, BRP for that matter too.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, this is a huge trickle effect,
Oh yeah.
but we're not going to know until we see it. But I think it's just interesting to talk about it and leave your guys' thoughts in the comments. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? Is this good or bad, or great or terrible, or what?
I think it's more blown out of proportion than we think it is, though.
Yeah,
It ain't
I
going
agree
to
with
be
you.
what we're thinking.
Yeah.
It won't be. That's the other thing is like these people that are in charge of these companies, they're gonna have to do something.
Dude, the thing is, though, that I will say about Trump is I feel like not everything, but more than other politicians, when he says he's going to do something, there's a lot of times where he does it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he's not bluffing.
Yeah.
Like he means business for sure. Yeah, no, I agree there.
Okay, we good? You want to jump into Q&A?
Do we want to talk about riding areas any? Or I guess we kind of did.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I just hopefully, we can kibosh some of that stuff because it seems like we're getting cramped on pretty hard these days.
Yeah. What, dude, and the same thing with, that's a whole debate, hunting and everything. It's come on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there was something that I saw, I can't remember if Go Hunt emailed me or something, but I saw somewhere that Colorado was trying to make it where I don't know the exact things. I shouldn't say anything because I'm not positive, but it was like you couldn't hunt state ground.
Oh, really? Wow.
They're trying to make it where you can't hunt state ground. And it's like,
literally our tax money is paid for that land.
Yeah, like, no.
That's what's such a struggle with all this stuff is it's like a lot of it's BLM or federal, like Forest Service land. And well, it's all federal land, but it's like, that's all of our land. Like it's not these people that run them. It's like, there's people in place to manage them and there's people in place to oversee it and make sure it's managed correctly. But I think they're piss poor at managing it, for one. They
Yeah.
don't do a good job at managing it. And then these people get in there with their agendas of the way they want to see the land ran. And
Or
the people,
what gives them the most money.
Yeah, and the people no longer get to use it. I mean, we fight this with our business, with our permits. Like,
Yeah.
people are traveling out here to ride snowmobiles, looking for someone to guide them and show them around. And they make us jump through a ton of hoops and stuff to make it happen, to be able to guide them, just because we're like making a profit using the federal land, which is fine. I'm all cool with it. We should jump through the hoops. We should have to like do it legally. It's the fact that like they're trying to shut it down to everybody. Like it's not their land. It's not right for them to be able to shut it down. That's all of our land.
Right.
Yeah.
While we're bringing a crap pile of money to the county and the town and other surrounding towns, like what's the ski area doing in Steamboat, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
The skiers do the exact same thing. They're on national forest land.
But they're making money from that. You see what I'm saying?
Who's making money from that?
Whoever's running that stuff, because they're paying a big lease or they're paying big tax or whatever it is. That's the problem with the smaller guys.
Yeah.
Is when you're not forking millions of dollars over to the entity that controls all this stuff, they treat you a little different than when, exactly. They can have that entire mountain, okay? Cut
half of
all the
mountain.
trees down,
Yeah.
put lifts all up here. There's trash up there. That's fine. And hey, I'm not against disabling ski areas.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no.
not against it at all. They
Just
should
want a
be
fair
there.
play at it.
But we can use that, 3 days a week, or 2-3 days a week, or whatever it is you're able to do.
Yep.
Take people, cut down no trees,
Yeah.
just ride the groomed trails. No. But they can have hundreds and hundreds of people up there.
Yeah, we like have almost no trace other than our tracks.
Yeah,
Like
that melt.
yeah. Like that's the only like real trace that we have. I mean, sure, there might be a piece of trash here or there or whatever, and we do our best to clean it up, but nothing like a ski area would.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All right.
right.
Q&A.
Let's jump into it.
All right.
Yep.
Q&A
Hopefully you guys have
time.
been liking these Q&As. I think people have been. I mean, we're trying to
Yeah.
keep up with everybody. You guys are asking some great questions and getting a lot of questions to us. So thanks for interacting with it. And we're trying to really bring some value to you guys with these questions. So,
Yes.
and we enjoy answering them.
Pretty fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Some of them are repeats, but some of them are pretty, they're all pretty interesting, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the one that you got.
Okay.
All right. Favorite on the mountain glove. I have my quote trail ride in glove already, but looking for in the thick of it options.
Okay.
What would you say?
I honestly love the Fly Tidal glove. It is not super thick. It's like you can still feel the handlebar good, and my hands don't get overly cold in them when I'm actually riding. Now, sometimes they ice up enough to where I can ride down the trail with them or whatever, and I'm okay just because it blocks the wind, you
The
know?
ice blocks the wind.
But I mean, in the thick of it, that's my go-to glove. Is I go to the Fly Tidal glove. I have a really hard time with bar feel though, so I need a thin glove, and that seems to be the best glove that I found for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Climb Pro Cross or Power Cross, I think it is.
Yeah, power cross.
Mainly because my hands just freeze off no matter if it's 30 degrees or negative 12.
That's my trail glove.
Yeah, power cross is kind of nice because it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like power cross, in my opinion, for my hand, you can wear all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
You know,
sure.
it's not like there's gloves out there that you better not be riding down on the trail with them, or at least me, my hands would freeze.
Yeah. No, and I'd have to agree. I think the Power Cross, I've rode full days in it, and it does the job. It's good. It's a real good glove.
That and they're durable. I mean, I've worn one pair for a year and a couple of months now.
Really?
And like there's just a couple rips in the fingers here and there, but it's to be expected.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously what we're talking about is you want a thinner glove,
Yeah.
or I guess it's
Not the
preference.
Trail Bomber, yeah.
Yeah, it's preference, but like most people don't like a really thick, warm glove when they're, as you said, in the thick of it, which is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
They want something thinner where they have more bar feel, where they can get to their brake lever easier. Anyway, yeah.
Makes sense.
So I would say for me, if I'm wearing a glove all day, I like the 509 free range glove. I think that's a good glove. And then the Power Cross is a good glove. Power Cross heated is a good glove. I'm trying to think what else. That's about it. I'm a one glove a day type guy.
Yeah. One thing I do run sometimes in the springtime is the Fly Racing windproof motocross glove.
Oh yeah.
And I've been actually wearing those a lot when I'm like filming or like just not really needing, like I have to have like good feel because I'm pushing buttons or anything like that. Like, but cut that wind off my hand. And it's really nice in the springtime because traveling, you know, like riding the snowmobile, you don't have that wind blowing on your knuckles, but yet you still get that hand warmer feel through them. So they warm your hands up enough.
Yeah.
So that windproof thin motocross glove is a pretty cool game changer in the springtime.
Yeah. The 509, I like the free range glove because it's thick enough to wear it on a trail, but it's thin enough that it's not the best for bar feel.
Yeah.
But it's definitely good enough. It's good enough for me at least. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Okay. Let me exit out.
I've never kicked your tripod in my life until tonight, and now I've kicked it twice.
Earthquake.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love this question, fellas.
Oh boy.
This goes right down to my heart. Are any of you competing at X Games this week in snowboarding?
Oh, 100% half pipe.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we're going to take gold, silver, and bronze in men's big air snowboarding in Aspen and the super pipe. For those of you who saw that video, yeah, we're money. We're money mine.
You'll see me flying through the air in whatever direction it happens, but
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll end up at the bottom of the hill. I know that. Might take 10 tries standing up.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
That's the point of snowboarding, though. It's a little backwards compared to what we're used to.
Yeah.
Climb the hill.
I just love that falling in the deep snow on a snowboard just doesn't hurt as bad as it does on a snowmobile.
Is your body a little wrecked from that day, though?
My neck hurt the day after. And I think it was that original fall, the intro fall.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just
You
whacked that son of a gun. All right, this question's from Marcus, I'm guessing.
For me or from me?
For you.
Oh.
You didn't remember submitting one?
Do you... No, this is for you. Do you miss your mom?
Who asked the question?
Someone that you know.
Of course I do.
Well, you need to call her more, apparently. You need to tell her every day, Marcus, you're a bad son.
It really sucks making supper every night. That's for a fact.
Oh, my gosh.
That's rough.
That and I got to go grocery shopping all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're doing those things, you should call her.
Part of growing up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really cutting those strings off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Top places you guys would love to travel to ride. That's a good question.
That is a really good question. I guess some bucket list things for me. I'm going to list them like, I feel like hardest to not hardest. I think it'd be really cool to do Alaska.
Yeah.
And Revelstoke. And then, I don't know. And Revelstoke and this one might be kind of like a toss up because it's like we could just go do it. But I just feel like it's not like priority for me right now. But I think it'd be really cool to go to like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and just trail hop and just see what it's all about.
Are you saying trail hop or bar hop?
Well, I guess bar hop, trail hop, whatever they do up there. I don't know what
Bar hop.
Yeah.
Okay, bar hop up
Yeah.
there. I don't know.
You can be my DD.
They rip like 400
kidding.
miles in a day or something.
Yeah.
You know? Like I think it'd be cool to just go experience that and eat some cheese curds along the way. And
Dude, you guys do have some smacking good cheese curds, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. 10 out of 10.
So, that'd
What
be
do you
my
think?
three.
I'm going to go Revia's number 1. Sealy Lake, because I just want to go see what's there.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
want those
then,
rock pillows.
Yep. Type of stuff that I like doing. Third one's hard. Probably like Alpine or Afton, Wyoming. Again.
Let's go to Alpine. We
Make-
got
make that
we
one
got
happen.
We're in the middle of planning a trip to Alpine, hopefully.
Well, we're gonna make Marcus's happen this year.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a pretty cool area, though.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a badass area. I want to go. Okay, on that, I want to go do that hot spring thing around there. I know I told you about it. Did
Yeah.
I talk to you? Who did I talk about it?
Me.
Okay, they have this like ride-in hot spring there. I think it'd be freaking cool to go do.
That'd be pretty neat.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Watch
I
me
would
freeze.
hate getting out. I
That
would
would
hate
suck.
getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just sit and have a beer while you guys freeze your friggin'
Yeah.
body
See you guys
off.
later. I'm gonna stay in the water.
Yeah. Okay, for me, dude, Alaska's a good one.
I feel like that's like almost an untouchable one, but like it looks freaking like cool.
You just have to fly there and rent stuff.
But who rents in Alaska?
Oh, there's places.
Is there?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Tundras?
Go ride with Nick Pano.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I've been to Alaska every year in the summer for a long time now. Dude, the mountains up there, it's just weird. Like, we're so used to being up in elevation and then the mountains.
Yeah.
You know? With that, it's like ocean and then just mountains.
Straight up.
It's like, whoa. Like, that looks so crazy.
Yeah.
And I would love to do that. And I would love to do like the Art of Flight mission in Alaska on snowmobiles. Like, that'd be sick. I don't know how much like rideable, I just don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of rideable stuff in the lower parts, but I think those big peaks you see, I can't imagine a snowmobile going up those.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
But
I don't know what their terrain is really like, but
it'd be cool to go up there.
Yeah, those guys, I want to say it was Kyle Husitz and them, did that Last Frontier project last year, and just watching that edit like gave me goosebumps. So like that's badass.
Oh, yeah. The one Tristan, I think
Tristan
Roney
Roney did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just sweet. Like the terrain, the whole adventure of it looked awesome. You know, driving up there with a truck and trailer, like that's pretty sweet.
I'd like to go up there with someone that knows.
Yeah, I think that's anywhere though. Like
Yeah.
we're going anywhere, we need some guidance.
Yeah. So my first is Revelstoke. I want to go to Revelstoke. I just want to experience the culture. I want to see the terrain. So first is Revelstoke. I don't know, dude. I think 2 might be Alaska for me as well.
Yeah,
I think that would be really cool. The only thing I don't know about is the light situation. Isn't it like dark there constantly in the winter?
Yeah,
'Cause it's light there all-
bar.
Yeah. I think I need more than that. I need
We'd
a
probably-
50 billion lumen sun on the snow.
We'd probably have to do it in like March or April or something like that when they'd have daylight.
Yeah, and I don't know about the snow there. I just don't know. I haven't looked into it. Okay. Third, oh man.
Struggling.
Chili. What about chili?
Oh, Chile, dude. Chile's one.
That would be
Chile's
That would be
one.
awesome.
That would be
Yeah.
pretty cool. I forgot
100%.
about that.
Chile's
Right in
one.
summertime.
Revelstoke 2, Alaska 3. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I forgot.
So I'm
about
going trail hopping by myself.
Yep.
that. Yeah. Bar's
there.
all yours,
Been
Ad.
there, done that. It's not that fun.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay.
Get some insulated gear.
Yep.
Dude, this is my bad too, but we have to answer these questions faster. We're going to be here all night.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Coil over or air shocks? Pros, cons, preferences.
Air shocks 100%. I've said it from day one. Say it again. The adjustability. I can ride powder in the morning and hit a booter in the afternoon and just with an air pump change what I'm doing. Am I too lazy to do that? Most likely. But I have the option to do it. And if I'm paying that money for shocks, I want the option. I do definitely crank my air up in the springtime. So I think the adjustability, I hate how harsh a spring shock is. It gives a lot of feedback. The air shock is much more plush and seems the same effect as softer. So you're going to get that stiffness, but it doesn't give you the harsh effect of a spring shock.
I agree with AJ on that one. And then just another thing, you get the good looks with Fox QS3s.
Yeah, we were talking
Looks-
about that today. Olin's and even like the exits, all of them, it just looks like a stock shock. Like,
Do you think the Olins look like a stock shock?
yeah,
Not so
With
much
a-
stock,
with
just
gold?
old school.
yeah, it's old school. Put an air shock on that girl.
I think the Olin shocks on that 146 look money.
It depends on the sled for sure,
Yeah.
but there's some ugly setups out there. with
Oh, yeah.
Olins.
Yeah.
Like the gold is not good with everything,
Not with everything.
but it looks like an old time shock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't hate on it though, because I haven't ridden it long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be a great shock. I don't know. And probably the Raptors and everything. And I mean, they're proven. The nice thing, you don't have to adjust air. You don't have any leakage, anything like that.
Yeah.
But
That's what I like.
I've never had issues with my air shocks. I've always had great luck, and I love the performance of them.
Yeah. I would love
Third time.
third kick. I like air. I like the feeling of air, but I will say I like the ease of coils. For me, those Olins I really like.
Yeah.
I really like them. But, and you kind of hit on this, I think it's the versatility of air. Like,
Yeah.
I like it in the real deep technical stuff, and I also like it jumping.
Yeah.
With the coils, I don't mind it anywhere, but I just like the air in the powder, like in the deep snow.
Yeah. It doesn't seem
yeah.
like the coils fit both perfectly. It just covers both areas. Like,
Yeah.
it's better than stock, but it's not like perfect where you can make the
yeah.
air shocks perfect for both situations.
It's just kind of, the adjusting air is a lot more of a pain in the
A lot of
couch.
dinking around.
Yeah.
Yep. Having the QS3 though is a game changer compared
Yeah.
to all the little
Yeah.
adjusters
100%.
too. Like you just go soft, medium, firm,
Or
and
lockout.
lockout. Like
Yeah.
that is a game changer from like, oh, I'm 6 clicks here and 2 clicks here. Like I get so many questions like asking shock setup, and it's like, yeah, this one's 2 clicks out, this one's 6 clicks out. Like it's just so much to like, remember.
Okay. We took a long time to answer that question too. Best sled to start out with, still learning how to side hill and tree ride. That's a good question.
It depends what brand you're on.
It depends brand and budget.
Yeah.
I would say these general guidelines. If you're a full grown dude, like if you're a kid or a girl, I think it could I think maybe a 600 would be.
I don't think it changes for me, honestly.
You don't?
I think an 850, 155, 154.
Or an 800, if depending on budget.
Depending upon budget. Like just 800, 850, 155, 154. You're going to learn how to ride that in the trees well. You're going to learn how to side hill that well.
NA.
And NA. Yeah.
Has to be NA.
Yeah, definitely NA. But I don't think you can go wrong with that like engine size and, track pitch, because the 155, it's going to be a good track pitch, everything. It's going to want to climb out of the snow.
I would say, in my opinion, like for kids, I think a 600 would be better.
It definitely depends upon age.
Yeah.
But like if you're that young, then yes. But I mean, if you're like 14 and up, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. So okay, here's my guidelines. Not too much power, no turbos, and not too short a track.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think there's not really detrimental sleds, really.
You got to find what you're comfortable on.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, it'd be a Polaris 850, kind of like what you got.
That's exactly what I would say. Like honestly, an 850 Polaris Pro is probably the best beginner, like getting into the sport sled, hands down. It's easy to ride, handles well, has good power, doesn't like to get stuck, like goes forward.
And if you're looking for a used sled, I think an Axis 800 is a great option.
Yeah.
I think
did Axis ever have the 800, or was the Axis?
Mine was an Axis 800.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, or Axis 850, because it came
I can't
later.
remember. Yeah.
Or a Pro chassis, just depending on budget.
Yeah.
But I think that you can learn on anything. I just wouldn't get a souped up sled or a sled that's too short.
Yep. And if you're buying an older sled, don't buy someone's 2015 Pro with a Boondocker sidekick on it that's already been ragdolled a few times. Like, get a nice, good, clean stock 800, 850.
Bingo. All right. Where do you guys ride the most? Or my mic was pulled away from my face. Where do you guys ride the most?
Locally?
Yeah, I would say Northwest Colorado.
Yeah.
So anywhere from Steamboat on like by Craig.
Yeah. I mean, we really don't go much further than 40 minutes from the house generally.
Yeah.
If we do, it's a trip,
Yeah.
Haven't done that yet either.
So Rabbit Ears, Buff Pass.
Come ride with us and you'll figure out where we ride.
Can't tell you where we ride.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good question. We should talk about this. But to the last question, Northwest Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah. We stay pretty much close to home. I mean, we have a ton of great light riding locations and a huge variation in terrain within an hour and a half of our doorstep. Really don't see a huge reason to leave. Obviously, we're going to want to do some trips and find some different things. The one thing we struggle finding is cool, good jumps. So that's kind of something we're on the search for. But
Like
otherwise,
natural jumps
like
where we don't have to
natural
shovel
jumps.
for 4 hours.
Yeah. So other than that, though, like our train delivers everything we could ever want.
Dude, we need to hurry.
Yep.
Let's touch on this. This is a good question. Oh, I gotta read. Come on, let me read the whole thing. Are you guys planning to do a group ride again this year? If so, what's a date range for it? Okay, do you guys want a group ride? Yeah. Like, let us know if you want a group ride. Yeah. And if you're actually going to show up, get a group together. We've had multiple conversations. Should we just do it at like a local trailhead, or should we have a destination where like, everyone can rent a cabin and we could go from there? Yeah. If any of you are interested in that, let us know in the comments. The plan is...
Or send us a message even on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Powderbound or Cook Bros.
I would say the plan is yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We definitely, like the goal, we were even talking about it today, actually during the day, not even before the pod, of doing this. And we're leaning towards doing a destination place and having people meet us there. But I guess, let us know what you guys think and what you would like to see.
Yeah, and if you guys are locals, let us know. And we're thinking about like lodge, cabin, something like that.
Yep. Date-wise, probably like at least a month out.
Yeah, we want to plan this so then everyone can...
Give plenty of yes. But, I mean, let us know, and then we'll get this planned pretty quick.
The only thing I'm worried about was with what we dealt with last year.
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
Yep. We'll see.
We'll see. Let us know. I'm having a hard time holding an edge on the right side. What should I do? That is a dang good question.
Move your foot forward on your running board.
Yeah, that can help. Yeah. Counter steering. When I was learning to go right, something that I didn't do is I took a step back and I'm like, why is it so easy on the left and not on the right? And then I'm like paying attention. Like you're counter steering a lot more when you go left. When you're going right, you're trying to horse the sled. You're not using your handlebars because you're not as comfortable, right? So I think ski movement and foot placement.
Yeah, and depends upon what brand you're on, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of ski input to replicate it on that side.
Everybody's bad on the right side.
Yeah.
So it takes a long time to learn. Slow down and start from the beginning.
Yeah, but if you can do it on the left, it's just a technique thing, so you can do it on the right. Yep. Just think about it.
And even slow it down all the way and just like have it exaggerated like with your counter steer and walk it along a hillside using your brake and throttle. And that'll kind of teach you that teetering point of your sled. And then you can add speed more to that until your foot's just like dragging through the snow.
Yeah, in terrain too. Like if you're comfortable, like really comfortable on the left and you're getting into gnarly terrain, steeper terrain, and then you're trying to go right and you're like, I can't hold an edge. It's like just go back to where you learned to side hill left and work on it right and then step yourself back up.
Yep. Building blocks.
Yeah. Can I be your guest? No. The person knows who it is. So, tips for riding negative 30-degree temperatures. I was hoping you could give us some tips on that. Yeah. There's no good way to go about it.
My tip would be don't go. We literally, as a business, we sat down the other night and we looked at the temps and we shut booking off. And we had somebody call that one to ride and we said, sorry, like we'll do it once it warms up. Well, I mean, by warm up, it'll be like 0. But like we're not going out in these temps. It's not worth somebody getting hurt or like it's just not fun.
Or just someone cold. Miserable all day.
Yeah, you're just miserable. And it's not if you go out and have a good experience in cold temps. It's what happens when something bad happens. What happens if you break a leg? What happens if you fall in a creek? Things get worse fast when it's that cold. Yeah. So it's just avoiding that happening. Like it's not worth taking that risk when it's that cold. If you have to ride when it's that cold, like if you've already planned a trip and you're coming out here, like I get it, but just know you're adding a lot of risk to that. And if you're going to
boost oxygen,
layers help, but also layers take away movement and then you end up in predicaments a lot faster. So it's just like good quality gear would be the best thing I could recommend. I'd say your mid layer, like your base layer thick,
Mid layer be a decent sized puffy coat, and then your shell. And if you have heated gear, maybe that's the time to break it out.
Yep. And stay out of wide open, windy places where it's going to be even colder. Get in some trees and learn how to tree ride that day.
Yeah.
You got all winter. It ain't worth frostbiting yourself for nothing.
Yeah. Okay. We got a couple left.
Okay.
Hands down favorite backcountry snack. I'll answer mine right off the... Okay, this is snack. Okay, this is mine right off the cusp. Dots pretzels. I don't know why, dude. Those just taste different at 10,000 feet.
Huh. That's interesting.
And they have a resealable bag.
Mine would have to be, I've had like cookies and brownies on the mountain before. And that like doughy brownie, like doughy cookie, that does it for me.
It just gets you going.
Yeah, like that's good.
I'm going to have to go with the Builder's Protein Mint Chocolate
Are you really?
protein bar. Oh, yeah. That thing is good.
Yeah.
At Walmart if you want to try them.
Yeah.
Tasty treat.
So we say cookies and brownies. I say pretzels. And he says a protein bar. That makes us look like we're just goons.
Well,
Seen this kid? Nothing on him.
Nothing on
skin
him.
and bone.
Okay. P22 Fix Kits.
I've heard a lot of good about the carbon sled fix kit. I know a lot of people that have already got it and are running it and are very pleased with it and said it really tightens it up. I think the important thing is just getting one that threads in. I don't know all the brands. I don't know all the specifics. I know the carbon sled one threads. It's the like centerpiece that the spring sits around it, and then the cap like pivots to it, and the bolt goes through it, and it threads in instead of just like slips in with an O-ring, and it doesn't give it any flex. So I've read about them, I've heard about them, and I've just heard the carbon sled is the one to go with right now.
I
don't
nothing
know.
about them.
I
My
run-
sled just runs.
I run it stock.
I mean,
My sled just runs too, so, it's stock, baby.
yeah. I mean,
I
that's
didn't even-
just what
yeah.
I've heard. That's what I've read. But yeah, I'm not super versed on it.
I'm not either.
Also, I guess I'm kind of jaded by like got warranty for a reason. I'm gonna let that sucker zing out so I can get a new engine.
Yeah, the problem with mine now is one's out of warranty.
One's out of warranty, yep. So, but I mean, it's a good fix, and I think they've got it pretty well squared away with that. So definitely a good thing to get. It'll save you some headaches.
Yeah, I might need to look into that. Okay, last question. Have you ever had or witnessed a serious injury on the mountain? If so, how did you get the person out? So by this, I'm thinking like serious to me means like they're not moving. Like you are going to have to get them out, whether it's a broke leg, broke arm, something extremely painful. Not like you got thrown into a creek and your arm hurts or you got wet or something like that. I'm thinking this is like somebody got really messed up. Have you ever seen it?
I had one of my buddies from back home. Krabs, shout out if you're watching. But we were on the trail headed back to the truck after a pretty good day of riding. And it was probably about as cold as it is right now, -15, -20. And he was just booking it, and his hand warmers weren't working. So he's like, I'm going back to the truck fast. And I come rolling up on him, and there's a helmet 20 yards down the trail. He's laying on his face. I roll up like, dude, I thought he was dead. Snowmobile's upside down in the cabbage out there.
The cabbage.
He's bleeding from the nose. I walk up to him. I'm like, what happened? He must have hit like a braking bump in the trail and just ejected. Broke his hip.
Broke his hip?
Broke his hip.
Ooh.
So I was like, well, shit, what do we do?
Did he know it was broken? Was he like,
He
dude,
knew
something's
something
wrong?
was broken, but he was like not showing any pain really.
Like
Just
adrenaline
so
and
much
shock?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, you think you can ride back? Because I didn't believe that it was broken. That's how, like, he was being a man about it. So I got his sled up on one ski and, like, we kind of sat him on one side and put it back down. And he just slowly kept driving back down the trail. But,
Holy cow.
yeah, that's the worst one I've seen.
I've never really been around a bad accident or wreck yet. My nephew broke his arm on the cattle guard at the parking lot one
When?
day.
This year?
No, it was like
Oh.
3 years ago. He was a little tyke on a little 200. And I taught him how to like pull his brake and skid sideways. And he thought it was going to be cool to come into the parking lot wide open and just slide her sideways in the parking lot. Not a good idea. So he did her. And when it caught on the ice rut of a truck and it sent him flying and he caught himself with his arm and broke his arm. He was tough about it too. He wasn't crying or anything like that. I feel awful. I picked him up by his armpits and lifted him into the trailer. Never squealed or anything. He was all good.
He was in shock.
And then like 4 or 5 hours later, got him at the ER because he just, his arm was hurt. He was still moving it and stuff, but yeah, clean break on his arm and luckily it was right at the truck and stuff like that. But no, I've never been around a serious injury.
I've been around a lot of scary situations. Like I've talked about in other podcasts, like I blacked out by getting a sled on me and snow in my face. But I've never been around like, Brad, that one time when he was riding one ski out with a bent A arm, I was pretty scared about that. He hit that ski that was all jacked into the belly pan. It like came down and he just boom, boom, boom. But he kind of popped up and he was in bad pain, but it wasn't like we had to cart him off or anything.
Yeah.
So
I think the best case scenario is like get in touch with search and rescue, try to get the person stable and warm and keep them alive and get search and rescue to you. That's the best you can do in that situation, whether it's helicopter or search and rescue. Get them comfortable, keep them warm, and let the professionals come in and take care of them from there.
Especially if you have like a head or neck injury.
Yeah. Broken bones, like with that adrenaline rush, get them off the mountain as quick as possible.
Yeah. Or
at least to a trail or something like that where search and rescue can get to you easily with snowcat, snowmobile, side by side, whatever. But if they're like seriously like neck, like bad stuff like that, then just get them, keep them warm, get them stable, and get someone there as soon as possible.
Yep.
Get that call as fast in.
Yep.
Get the call in as fast.
Carrying inReach.
Yep. For
Or
sure.
something similar.
Something similar. Satellite.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up.
Perfect.
If you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Let us know your opinions on Donald J. And until next time, let her bark, let her eat, and hopefully it snows.
See you guys on the snow.
Let's ride.